Hard timer, you're here already, my man. And T Mac, both 6 people in the house already. Unbelievable. Yes, hard timer, 100%. I do 100%. When are you coming when are you coming next time? When will you be here? Yes, 100% I do. Let me ask you something, hard timer. Can you know my do you know my email address? Can you find it in the or do you want me to put it here? If you look, it's in my description. Uh, hold up a minute. Yes, there it is. Jesus Christ, let me see what the hell this is. Year. Right. This let me see what the hell this is. Year. Right. This let me see what the hell this is. Year. Right. This let me see what the hell this is. Year. Right. The fuck? Year. Right. What 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 the Wait a second. I'm looking for something here. I'm looking at. Do you know my? Okay. Well, hit me up. Hey, Rookie. I'm here again with another big one. Hit me up. Hit me up, and I'll give you my phone number. All right. Hit me up after the show, and I'll give you my phone number. You can call me. All right. Woohoo! Finished work early today. All right. Well, exactly. All right. Okay, hard timer. Got you. Absolutely. Oh, good. We got 10 people in the house already, so I don't have to wait for anybody to start, you know. Uh-huh. What's up, T Mac? What's up, Oahu? Okay, so tonight I was going to talk about. Well, let's see if we get a couple more people in here because there's 12 now, and we only just started. Let's wait just a couple more minutes. See if we get more in here. You know what? You know it's crazy. Everybody talks about John Gotti. You know, John Gotti is how he died. His family talks about excuse me. His family talks about how he was tied to the bed, choking on his own blood when he died. And I just want to address that. I want to address that because, I mean,
It's the way it works. That's just how that's how it works, man. You know, I had a friend. His name was Sonny Madden. Sonny was doing life. He had never been in prison before, and he shot he killed a DEA informant. The guy was a friend of theirs. Sonny was a very successful guy. First of all, he owned two bars. He was an ex-Marine. He owned two bars in St. Louis, and he was also involved in selling large amounts of cocaine, right? And and one of the people he dealt with was became a DEA informant. He told he was he got arrested and he made a deal to become a DEA informant. And he made the mistake of telling uh, Sonny that he had been arrested and that he had become an informant for the DEA. And he told Sonny, he said, "But don't worry, I'm never going to tell on you, brother. I just you're my friend, and I'm going to leave you out of any information I provide. I won't provide any against you." Okay. Well, Sonny didn't believe that. He didn't. He thought there was a good chance that the guy would provide information about him. And in order to, you know, alleviate the threat, uh, he killed a guy. He shot him behind his own bar. He had like two different bars he owned, and he shot the dude behind this one bar and killed him. And he called the cops and he tried to make it seem like somebody else killed the guy, and he didn't. He was just reporting the murder and this and that. Well, it didn't work. Okay, and yeah, thanks, guy. Yeah, hit that like button, folks. So anyway, you know, he ends up getting arrested. It was a long, long trial, and he gets convicted, and he's sentenced him to life. He was like 44 years old. He'd never been in prison before, but he was kind of a tough guy. He was a tough guy. Uh, but he wasn't in prison very long, and he had like he started having pains in his kidney area, and took him downtown, and they found out that he had cancer. They said he said a piece of cancer was like that big. It was like huge. It was like really big. I don't know why they didn't just take the kidney out, man. I mean, you can live with one kidney. I have a ex-cell partner who's God. He's got to be 77 years old. He got one of his spleen and one of his kidneys shot out in Vietnam. Right? He's been living without a kidney now for like over probably 60 years. He's still very, what do you call it, hardy and strong. You can live with one kidney, man. I don't know why they didn't just took one kidney out of him and just let him see if that would work. maybe they couldn't have did it. I don't know. I'm not going to second guess him, right? But anyway, I watched them. It took them about 30. They were giving them 10 milligram Percocets 4 times a day for terminal cancer. That's like taking aspirin, brother. It's not even going to touch the pain, right? And there you have it. So he was like, he was in bad shape. I watched him die. It took about 30 days, man, and he just got weaker and weaker, and the pain was just etched on his face. He could barely move. You know, he was in a wheelchair. His cell partner pushed him around everywhere he went, took him to chow, did everything, helped him, you know, really just took care of him for the last month of his life. But at the time where, you know, he couldn't do anything else for the guy, when it was his, you know, his last days on earth, they took him downtown to the hospital in Peoria. We're in Pekin, right? Pekin and Peoria are right next to each other. And I talked to the officer who, you know, was the guard at his bedside in the hospital. And the guard told me, you know, that Sonny would take these really long, deep breaths and then let him out. And he thought he stopped breathing like 5 or 6 different times because, you know, there was like a whole full minute between breaths, you know. When you stop breathing for a whole minute, people think you're dead, you know. So the guard thought he had died several times, you know, because he just kept taking these long, deep breaths and then, you know, long ones, and then it would stop. Okay, I'm going to show you my email right now. So anyway, you know, it was like, yeah, it was like the guy couldn't move. All right, he couldn't talk. He was not ambulatory, which means he couldn't move. You know, he was in quite bad shape. So eventually, he did stop breathing entirely. Like when he didn't take a breath for like 10 straight minutes, then he knew he was really dead, right? So he called the lieutenant up. He said, "Lieutenant, Sonny's passed away. He hasn't taken a breath in 10 minutes, man. He's dead for sure. For sure he's dead, you know." And the lieutenant told him, "Do not take his leg iron off until the doctor signs the death certificate." And that was the point I was trying to make here about John Gotti, all right? Apparently, they took John to Springfield, Missouri, which is a medical center. How you doing, Mo Mia? Okay, there, sup, bro. App, who's that? App, whatever. And you know, and his family and people, they say the man was spitting up blood. He was this and he was that, and he was like, you know, and he was chained to the bed and all that. Well, that's the Federal Bureau of Prisons, man. That's how they operate. That's the rule book. Okay, it don't matter that you're dying and that you can't move and there's no possible way that you could ever get up and run or escape. It doesn't matter. Thank you there, Rusty. It doesn't matter for that. What matters is there's a rule and you got to follow it if you want to keep your job. It's like the guy told him, do not unlock that leg shackle until the doctor signs the death certificate. And it wasn't, they didn't do it because he was John Gotti. They didn't do it because they wanted to get even with John Gotti for being the Godfather. It was the rule. Okay, the people try to make this out, I don't know, I guess his family or whoever, you know, whoever his, you know, the people who loved him and cared for him, you know, they complain about this. They say, oh man, they mistreated him. they didn't treat him any different. I'm not saying that, I don't understand why they didn't. I don't even understand why they didn't try to just, cut the cancer out. I know 3 people that have survived uh, throat cancer right here in Philadelphia. Uh, and they got operations. They got an operation and cut the cancer out, and they're still alive today. I know 3 people just like that. No, I don't know him. No, I don't know him. I know him from just watching him on. I don't know anything about that. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know what this. I really don't understand this whole thing with people snatching gold chains. Like it's a fucking like they do it on the free. They do it out here in the free world. They do it here in the free world. It amazes me what a petty, petty fucking thing to do. I mean, even if the goddamn chain is an expensive chain, it's still a petty thing to do, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like you got to be like a petty criminal to do that, right? I don't get it. Anyway, but the point I'm trying to make is, like they're trying to get sympathy for this guy, right? I sympathize with him. I do. I really do sympathize. I sympathize for anybody who dies like that, in pain, shackled to a bed. You know what I mean? Um, but so what? It's not like they said, well, oh, gee whiz, he's John Gotti. He's a no good, criminal. He's the Godfather. We're going to have to get even with him and treat him this way. They don't treat him any different than they treat anybody else. Nobody. We're all the same. You could be in there for selling 10 pounds of marijuana, and they treat you the same way if you were dying. You'd still be you'd still be shackled to the bed, and they'd still you still die under the same circumstances. It makes no difference. And I've always wanted to bring that up about people. I don't know why they didn't, take a shot at removing Sonny's kidney. I don't know why they didn't take a shot at doing that, and I don't know why they didn't take a shot at, removing the cancer from John Gotti's neck. Maybe there's things about these diagnoses that I don't know about. It would seem to me, man, like they'd want to try to at least save the guy's life if they could. Maybe they didn't think they could. Maybe there was other factors that I'm not aware of. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. So you were in you were in what do you call it? Piney Point. You were in Piney Point, Oahu. Vinny, I hear you, bro. Everybody relax. I'm here. All right. Uh, Gump husband, explain that one to me. I was in Piney Point when I was a kid, man. Is that? Were you just making a joke? I was there when Gigi was there, man. I was there, Fat Gigi. Yep, back in Lewisburg. Yeah, he was a funny son of a. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Got that AB ticket. AB don't stand for Aryan Brotherhood. It stands for. What the hell does it stand for? I used to know that like the back of my hand. Able-bodied seaman. Able-bodied. Okay. Able-bodied seaman. Exactly. Ass busted. All right. Yeah. So that was the story on that, man. Like it just, I've always wanted to make a video about this. Decided I would tonight, you know, because I think people get the wrong impression. Warden stopped Gotti from what? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Warden stopped Gotti from what? See, here's the thing, man. All these big gangsters. If Gotti hadn't died in Marion, good chance if he would have kept his nose clean, he would have been shipped out to a different prison. Like he would have got to like Lewisburg or where is it? The one right next to Lewisburg in White Deer County there. You know where they got all the other gangsters and stuff. I mean, he wouldn't have stayed. All these gangsters that who the hell was it from here in Philadelphia? Little Nicky Scarfo. He was in Marion, but they sent him out to Lewisburg or wherever the hell he went. Terre Haute, different place. These guys got all these murders. Doesn't matter, you know. Look at who's the little guy, the head of the Genovese family or something. Little guy. He's in his 90s now. He's senile. All these guys, man, you know, they only stay in maximum security prisons like Marion for a few years, you know, and then they ship them out and put them in general population and other prisons, and they usually don't. And they usually don't start any trouble. These guys don't. They're not troublemakers in prison, bro. They just aren't. You know, and that's why I find it very strange that they kept Jimmy Marcello locked up in ADX for the last 20 years, ever since he was convicted, man. I mean, it doesn't even make sense, you know. I knew him. He never presented any type of a disciplinary problem in prison. He was in medium security, you know. He's not going to escape. And the guy's in his 80s, you know what I mean? If they're worried about him having people killed on the street, I don't think that's even an issue anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really make sense. They make some strange decisions that I just don't understand, you know. It don't add up to me, you know what I mean? But who the hell am I? You know what I mean? I'm just a dummy that looks at things like everybody else does, you know what I mean? So what do you mean, Gump? Warden stopped Gotti. What? What did he stop him from? I'm not sure. You'll have to explain yourself. June Cook is not here tonight. It don't look like. Are you, June? Are you here tonight? You know, my mother's name was Vinny. Vincenza. Pretty strange, huh? Strange world we live in, my brother. So, what do you guys think, man? Yeah, man, I'm doing a lot better. I will say that. I am doing lots better. You know, I'm actually a little bored, man. You know what I'm saying? Being clean and bored. Clean and bored. I was just watching a show on TV. You know, you're 100% right, Vinny. 100% right. Uh, yeah, yes and no. I mean, yeah. Yeah, there you go. No, she's always asking me to let her know when I'm coming on. So every day I send her an email telling her that I'm coming on, even though she knows I come on every day at this time. And so I like to make sure if she's in the chat or not. But I've never got to know Sonny because he didn't get into the feds until after I left. I left the feds in '03. He came in. When did he go into the feds anyway? As far as Gotti scheming with him, I mean, he was he was with them. I mean, I don't know about scheming. I mean, I think he promised to do some things, provide. I think he was going to get a lawyer for Barry or something like that. Promised Barry he would get him a lawyer, pay for the lawyer, stuff like that. Honest to God, bro, I don't even eat pizza. You know, I deliver pizza. That's one of my side job here is delivering pizza. I don't eat that. Uh, I've ate so much pizza in my life. I don't. It doesn't even. I get up in the morning. I make a smoothie. You know what I mean? I eat healthy, bro. I try to eat healthy. Yeah. Well, I don't pay much attention to either one of them guys. Ahmed. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, Franzese, Sammy, both of them. Who cares about them? I don't care about them guys. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand, man. I don't understand it. I do not understand the attraction for them fucking rats. I wouldn't watch them. I won't watch any of their shows. I don't want to hear them brag about what they did and all that shit. You know, that's just supposed to be kept quiet, but they fucking ratted on everybody. So now they're making themselves. Man, who cares about them? I don't. Let's see. Anybody else? Yeah, I know. You know, one of the best books I've ever read about the mafia. I can't think of the name of it right now, but damn, it was an awful good book, man. It was awful. It was about. I had it. I actually had it. Where's my? I can't find it right now, but it was a good ass book. What's your favorite mob book? That was a good book, man. I knew Jimmy Coonan. I know Jimmy Coonan in Leavenworth. Is he still there? I think he is. I like playing handball, bro. As far as sports, that's my only sport. I play handball. I run track and stuff like that. As far as like, I bet on football games. You know. Yeah, I liked the book Hot House, and I'm pretty good friends with Pete Early too. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a good book. It was accurate. very accurate. Couple things weren't accurate in that book, and I'm not going to call him out because, like I say, he's my friend, and I don't want to make him look stupid or anything. You know what I mean? I actually talked. He actually sent me a email the other day. I sent him one. He sent me one, and I asked him if he wanted to come back on. He didn't really respond to me, but he has lung cancer now. So I'm thinking maybe I think he's in remission, but he just wrote another book. I don't know what it's about. And he didn't. That's another thing. I asked him what it was about. He didn't tell me yet. Yeah. There was another guy from the Westies who was in Raybrook with us. I think it might have been Billy Beatty. It might have been Billy Beatty. Is Billy Beatty from the Westies out yet? Is he out? Wait a minute. Was Billy Beatty from the Westies released from prison? Come on, man. Answer the question. I don't know. I think he is. Huh. Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah, he's out. He's out now. He's out. I believe he was up in. I didn't really speak to him too much. He was in Genesee unit, and I was in another. I forget the unit. I was in the unit with Carmen Chartora. Can't remember what the hell unit I was in, but yeah, he was there, and June is here. Here she is. Hello, June. All right, so no, Mickey Featherstone. He was into the witness protection program. He's not been heard from since either. There you are, June. Hello. How are you? So yeah, I was with Beatty and I was with Coonan, and those are the only. Oh no, wait a minute. I don't know the other guys. Like there was a couple of guys in Lewisburg who were pretty big in the Westies, and I never really got to know them. Really didn't. Spillane was killed. You know about that. I think Billy Beatty was in that, on that murder, I believe. Dude, I just went back on the program. Just went back on it. Yes, we are. We are discussing John Gotti. Yep. If you just came in on this, you're probably going to be a little disappointed because we already finished talking about John Gotti. So you might have to rewatch it from the beginning. I know you're friends with Angel Gotti, and I know Angel Gotti thinks that John Gotti was treated very badly, right? Because they had him chained to a bed and he was choking on his own blood. So you'll have to rewatch the whole show to understand where I'm coming from on that. And I forgot what the hell I was saying. We're talking about somebody else. Oh, I was watching a show today about not a show, but I was watching something on. It really was, wasn't it, Mike? It really was a great movie. Um, I was watching a show about the where they had the restaurant where Paul Castellano invited the Westies to Tommaso's restaurant in Brooklyn to sit down with him and uh, to give them permission. Come on, what's this? Um, he invited the Westies to come to Tommaso's restaurant for a sit down. Remember, and he gave them permission to use the Gambino name and whatever they did, uh, providing they kicked them down like 10% of their earnings, and report. I guess he wanted them to report to Roy DeMeo, and to kick, and to provide money through him, and this is what the the show I was watching on YouTube today was discussing, and they brought up the Ruby Stein murder. You guys remember the Ruby Stein murder? That was typical. That was typical gangster shit there, man. They ran up a big bill on that guy, and then they killed him. They all borrowed money off him. I think Coonan was into him for like 80,000, which is a lot of money back in them days. And all of his crew. He told his crew, man, go out and borrow money for. They were into him for like $250,000, which is a lot of money in them days. It's probably the equivalent of $1.5 million today, And of course they did it, and they just killed him, man. And not only did they kill him, so that they didn't have to pay him, but they took his loan shark book, which he had on him, and they went out and tried to collect some of the loans that Ruby had. He had a big book, man. He had a big Shylock book, and millions of dollars and stuff, And yeah, they were scheming on that motherfucker, boy. That was their golden goose right there. You guys remember all this from the Westies? Well, I was too young, really. When I got arrested, I was only 20 years old, I was a little too wild back then. And I was a drug addict, But yeah, I did get back on the methadone. But I'm not going any higher than 30 milligrams. And I'm going to try to come down within the next couple of months. I'm going to come down and I'm going to get on to Suboxone. And that's my plan. I'm going to get back on the Suboxone this time. I should have just got on it already, but I don't know. I made kind of the wrong decision. I had an opportunity where I could have done it, and I passed that opportunity up. You got to go through a little pain to get into that. You got to go through serious withdrawals, and you got to put up with it, and then you just have to. What does low disk space mean? I just had a thing on my computer. I've been on and off methadone for about 8 years, man. Low disk space on my computer. What does that mean? How do I empty it? Is there some way I can do that? I don't know anything about computers. Yeah, I do smoke a little pot. Yep. Delete files. And where do I find the files, man? Okay, the only files there would be these videos, really. Photographs and videos, yeah. Uh, it's a PC, bro. It's, what do you call it? A Hewlett Packard. Okay, all right. All right. Yeah, so I don't really need them on this computer because I still got them on my phone. You know what I mean? All my so I don't really need to keep them. You know what I'm saying? Jim, where's Jim tonight? Are you here, Jim? I don't see Jim yet. Yeah, I mean it was a cheap thing. It was I was advised to get a cheap computer, and that's what I did. I mean, I just use it for this. I don't use it for anything else. I guess I could just delete a whole bunch of my videos, man, and that'll give me plenty of space, right? It's not like they're going anywhere; they're still on my phone, you know. So, anybody got any questions? Okay. So, shoot me an email, June, and tell me what I should do. You know, tell them the only thing I have on here are these videos. I could probably just delete them, right? Or was I a made guy? No, I was not a made guy. Yeah, I don't really have any pictures. All the pictures I have are on my phone. $600. No, I wouldn't spend that much on a computer. I mean, I would if I really had a need for an expensive computer. I would probably do that. What do you mean empty the trash? You're saying delete the video files and then empty the trash? Isn't that what I'm doing when I delete the video files? Isn't that emptying the trash? Or not? Man, I don't. I wish I had hung on to my. I wish I had hung on to my prison ID. I had it when I came home. I don't know what I did with it. Oh yeah, it's not going to be that hard. Yeah, I know. Yes, the AV was very dangerous. Yes, very dangerous. Yeah, so I'll do that tonight. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll figure out how to do this. All right. So listen, folks, I'm getting ready to shut this down. I've been on 45 minutes already. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do a story about Larry Vaughn, aka Sid Vicious. This is a crazy story I'm going to tell. So you're going to want to listen to this one. It's an amazing story. Dick Hurts. Dick Hurts. That's his name. Dick Hurts. Is that your real name, bro? Killed whose girlfriend? What are you talking about? Who killed his girlfriend? I'm not sure who you're talking about, Michael. Right. Sid Vicious. Oh, you're talking about that Sid Vicious. Oh, yeah. He was an idiot, wasn't he? Yeah, I remember who you're talking about. You think I would have snapped to what you were saying, but that's how lame I am sometimes. Slow I am. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to shut this down. It's been 46 minutes. I'll see you guys tomorrow. No, I meant Sid Vicious, bro. The same one you're talking about, but that's what Larry was called. We called him Sid Vicious. Simon Ferocious. All right, folks, I will see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We're going to be talking about, I got a crazy story for you. I'll see you then, all right?